Imagine holding a coin in your hand that you once thought was just worth a single cent, but in reality, it could be hiding a fortune. Yes, even millions of dollars. Picture this. The same copper-colored penny you used to drop into a jar without a second thought, the very coin you might pass over at the grocery counter, could actually be worth more than an expensive mansion, luxury cars, or even a lifetime of financial freedom. This isn't fiction, this is reality, and today we're going to uncover the shocking story of the 1989 Lincoln cent, a coin that continues to surprise collectors and casual finders alike with its hidden value. For the next few moments, prepare to rethink every penny you've ever touched, because the details I'm about to share will make you look twice at every coin lying in your pocket or forgotten in your drawer. The Lincoln penny from 1989 might seem like an ordinary piece of pocket change, but beneath its simple design lies a story of rarity, errors, and unbelievable worth. Millions of these coins were minted, yet within that sea of production, a handful of unique variations slipped through the cracks. It's those rare mistakes, those hidden gems that can transform a 1-cent coin into a life-changing payday. Collectors are constantly hunting for these elusive versions, and when one surfaces, the bidding wars skyrocket, reaching jaw-dropping amounts that leave everyone stunned. Now let's step back for a moment. The 1989 Lincoln cent was minted during a time of transition in the U.S. Mint. By this period, pennies were no longer made primarily from copper, but rather from a copper-plated zinc composition. This change was introduced in 1982 to cut costs, but it also opened the door to unusual minting errors, where certain coins were accidentally struck using older copper planchets or with misaligned designs. These mistakes are like hidden codes, invisible to the untrained eye but glaring to experts who know what to look for. Among the most valuable versions of the 1989 penny are those struck on copper planchets instead of zinc, a rare occurrence that makes the coin immediately more desirable. Imagine finding one of these rare copper-struck 1989 cents. It's the kind of discovery that could mean tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars in an auction. Some examples of minting errors from this year have already sold for small fortunes, shocking even seasoned collectors who couldn't believe how high the bidding climbed. But that's not all. Another type of 1989 penny that has stunned the coin world includes the double die error, where the design appears to be slightly doubled because of a flaw in the minting process. On some of these coins, you can clearly see doubling in the words "In God We Trust" or "Liberty," and those imperfections transform the coin from everyday change into a collectible masterpiece. Depending on condition, rarity, and demand, these doubled die errors can bring values in the tens of thousands. And when such coins appear in pristine, uncirculated condition, their worth can push even further into the six-figure territory. The fascinating part of the 1989 penny story is how ordinary it seems until you look closer. Most people never even bother to check their change, tossing pennies into jars or ignoring them completely. Yet hidden within those ignored coins could be the rare versions that collectors would pay millions to own. There are documented cases of seemingly simple coins shocking their owners after experts revealed the true value. Imagine the emotional roller coaster of finding out that the penny you carried around for years without care could fund your entire future. That's the magic of coin collecting. It turns ordinary moments into extraordinary stories. The condition of the coin, known as its grade, plays a massive role in determining value. A 1989 penny that has circulated heavily may still hold some worth if it has a rare error, but a mint state coin, one that looks nearly flawless, can command prices that defy belief. Auction houses have witnessed bidding wars where collectors desperately fought to own the cleanest examples of these error coins. The result? Final sale prices that make headlines and leave everyone speechless. These coins are not just collectibles, they are pieces of history, artifacts that represent mistakes turned into treasures. What's even more thrilling is the accessibility of these coins. You don't need to be a millionaire or a professional treasure hunter to stumble upon one. Every penny you come across is a chance, a hidden lottery ticket waiting to be discovered. Whether it's an old jar in your attic, spare change lying under the couch cushions, or even the handful of coins given back to you at a local store, the opportunity to find a rare 1989 penny is always there. The thought that your next coin could be worth millions keeps collectors and everyday people searching, hoping, and dreaming. Another factor that adds to the mystery is the sheer number of coins minted in 1989. Billions of them rolled off the presses. But within those billions, only a sliver carried the unique errors or rare characteristics that make them valuable. It's like searching for a needle in a haystack. But when that needle is worth more than a sports car or a dream home, suddenly the search becomes irresistible. People around the world, from seasoned numismatists to casual hobbyists, continue to chase after these elusive coins, driving the market higher and higher. The story of the 1989 Lincoln penny is also a lesson in perspective. It teaches us that even the smallest, most overlooked objects can hold massive significance. We're so quick to dismiss the penny as worthless, yet these rare versions prove otherwise. They remind us that value often hides in plain sight, waiting for the right eyes to recognize it. This isn't just about coins, it's about the way we view the in world. Sometimes what seems ordinary is actually extraordinary, if only we take the time to look closer. So next time you hold a penny in your hand, don't be so quick to toss it aside. Take a moment to examine it, to look for those subtle details that could mean the difference between 1 cent and $1 million. The 1989 Lincoln penny has already shocked countless collectors and continues to do so. Who's to say the next life-changing coin isn't sitting quietly in your possession right now? The truth is, fortune favors those who pay attention. And in the world of rare coins, it pays, literally, to notice the smallest details. Because sometimes, the difference between pocket change and $1 million treasure is nothing more than the year stamped on a tiny coin and the errors hidden within its design. The 1989 Lincoln cent is living proof that the smallest things can hold the greatest power. And it just might be the most shocking penny you'll ever encounter. What if I told you that the smallest coin in your pocket, the one you might toss aside without a thought, could actually be worth thousands or even millions of dollars? Imagine holding a 1984 Lincoln penny, something so ordinary that most people never even glance at it twice, yet collectors around the world are willing to pay life-changing sums of money just to own the right version of it. That's not a fantasy, it's a shocking reality. Some rare 1984 pennies have already stunned the numismatic community, breaking records and sending collectors into bidding wars that most of us could never imagine. You may be sitting on a coin that looks like spare change, but in truth, it could hold the power to rewrite your financial story forever. The 1984 Lincoln cent is part of the Memorial Reverse series, which ran from 1959 all the way to 2008, before the design changed to honor Lincoln's bicentennial. At first glance, this coin doesn't appear unusual. It's small, copper-colored, and bears the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. But what makes certain 1984 pennies extraordinary is not the design itself, but the mistakes, the rare minting errors that slipped through the cracks at the U.S. Mint. Errors that collectors today view as treasures, errors that turn what looks like a penny into a golden ticket. One of the most famous and valuable of these errors is the 1984 doubled die obverse. This variety shows doubling on Lincoln's ear, which is why it's commonly called the extra ear penny. Under magnification, you'll notice a second ear-like outline just south of Lincoln's actual ear. To most people, it looks like nothing more than a tiny distortion. But in the world of coin collecting, it's one of the holy grails of modern errors. Depending on the condition, these coins can sell for hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars. Imagine finding one in a roll of pennies from your local bank. That little detail, barely visible to the naked eye, can transform a 1-cent coin into a small fortune. Collectors are obsessed with coins like these because they represent a perfect storm of rarity and intrigue. They aren't just mistakes, they're pieces of history. The 1984 extra ear penny wasn't meant to exist. It was born from a flaw in the minting process, a brief moment in time when the dies used to strike the coins shifted or failed, creating a ghostly duplicate design. Each of these rare coins carries that accident forever, immortalized in metal. And because they are limited in number, demand always outweighs supply, pushing prices into astonishing territory. But the 1984 Lincoln cent story doesn't stop with the doubled die obverse. Other error types, including off-center strikes, broad strikes, and clipped planchets, also exist and command impressive values. Imagine a penny where part of Lincoln's face is cut off because the die misaligned, or a coin missing a piece of its rim because the blank metal disc wasn't properly cut. To the average spender, these look like broken coins. To a serious collector, however, they are treasures. Depending on severity and condition, such error pennies can sell from hundreds into the thousands. Condition is everything when it comes to coin value. Collectors grade coins using a scale from poor to mint state, with mint state examples being flawless coins that look like they just rolled off the presses. A 1984 double die penny in worn condition might bring in a few $100s, but one in pristine mint state, preserved in a protective holder, can fetch thousands. And as the years pass, the number of surviving high-grade examples shrinks, making those that remain even more desirable. That's how simple copper coins become investments, tiny pieces of metal transformed into wealth generators. There have even been cases where 1984 error pennies stunned collectors by reaching prices in the five-figure range at auctions. Stories circulate in the numismatic community about people discovering these coins in old jars, inherited collections, or even pocket change. For the lucky finder, that penny instantly becomes a symbol of unexpected fortune, a hidden jewel disguised as everyday currency. It's that possibility, the chance that the next coin you touch could secretly be worth a staggering sum, that keeps treasure hunters searching, examining each cent with careful eyes. Another factor that boosts the allure of the 1984 penny is its place in history. This was a time when the composition of the cent had recently changed. Before 1982, pennies were made of 95% copper. But starting in mid-1982, they were switched to a copper-plated zinc composition because copper prices were rising. By 1984, all pennies were officially zinc cores with a thin layer of copper. This change created its own set of quirks. Some collectors even hunt for transitional errors, coins struck on leftover copper planchets. Though extremely rare, such transitional errors can fetch astronomical values. Imagine finding a 1984 cent that was accidentally struck on a pure copper blank. That would be like winning the lottery. It's not just about the money, though. Coins like the 1984 penny tell stories. Stories of how the smallest mistakes at the mint can ripple across decades, turning into mysteries and treasures for future generations. Every time a collector uncovers one, it's like unearthing a secret from the past, proof that even in mass production, uniqueness survives. The key to spotting a valuable 1984 penny lies in attention to detail. Grab a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe and examine Lincoln's ear. If you see that telltale doubling, an extra ear, your heart may skip a beat. Check the rim, the lettering, and the overall strike quality too. Any unusual features could mean your coin is more than just spare change. Now here's where things get truly shocking. While many error pennies sell for hundreds or thousands, some rare specimens with perfect preservation and dramatic errors have reached record-breaking figures, climbing into six figures at major auctions. Imagine 1 cent transformed into $100,000 or more. That's the kind of life-changing shock this tiny coin can deliver. And yes, some collectors believe the rarest and most dramatic examples could one day break the $1 million barrier, especially as the market for rare modern errors continues to grow. So, the next time you glance at a 1984 penny, don't dismiss it as worthless. Look closely. That little coin could hold the power to astonish you, to shock your family, and to change your financial future. Somewhere out there, someone is holding onto a penny that could rival the price of a luxury car, a house, or even more. And that someone could be you if you take the time to look. This is the hidden truth about the 1984 Lincoln cent. It's not just a coin. It's a reminder that value can hide in the smallest places, that fortune doesn't always come in gold bars or stock portfolios. It can come in the shape of a single penny resting in the palm of your hand. So the next time you reach into your pocket and pull out a handful of change, remember, every coin has a story. But some stories can make you rich beyond imagination. What if I told you that a simple penny from 1996, something you might have tossed into a jar or left in your car's cup holder, could actually be worth millions of dollars today? Yes, a single cent coin, the kind you've seen thousands of times without even noticing, has shocked collectors and investors alike because some rare variations and errors have turned what looks like pocket change into life-changing wealth. Imagine walking into a store, paying with a penny, and unknowingly handing over a fortune. That's the reality behind certain 1996 Lincoln cents, and it's the kind of story that makes people dig through every drawer, every piggy bank, every old coin roll, in hopes of finding treasure hidden in plain sight. Stay with me because by the end of this video, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. The Lincoln cent has always carried a special place in American history. Introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, it replaced the Indian head cent and quickly became one of the most recognized coins in circulation. By 1996, it had already been around for nearly 9 decades, yet the demand for this coin was still massive. Billions of Lincoln cents were struck in that year, produced in both Philadelphia and Denver. On the surface, they look ordinary, showing Lincoln's profile on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design that was first introduced in 1959. But hidden among these billions are rare varieties and mint errors that turn these pennies into some of the most valuable coins ever discovered. One of the most shocking facts about the 1996 penny is that while the majority are only worth face value, certain error coins have sold for staggering prices. Collectors know that mistakes made at the mint, like double dies, off-center strikes, or even transitional planchet errors, can skyrocket a coin's value. For the 1996 Lincoln cent, the double die obverse is one of the most sought after. This occurs when the die that strikes the coin shifts slightly between impressions, causing the lettering or numbers to appear doubled. On a 1996 penny, this doubling can be seen most clearly on the date, the motto, "In God We Trust," and the word "Liberty." If you happen to spot one with strong doubling, you're not just holding a penny, you're holding a potential payday worth tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some of the rarest examples have been valued at over $1 million in pristine condition, shocking the numismatic world and sparking nationwide hunts for these elusive treasures. Another fascinating aspect of the 1996 penny comes from off-metal errors. Sometimes, due to mistakes at the mint, coins are struck on the wrong type of metal planchet. Imagine finding a penny that was mistakenly struck on a dime planchet. It would be smaller, lighter, and incredibly rare. Or even more unbelievable, a penny struck on a foreign planchet like those intended for another country's coinage. These errors are so rare that they can sell for extraordinary amounts at auction, with collectors paying 6 or 7 figures for the chance to own such an anomaly. It's these oddities that transform a single cent into a jaw-dropping fortune, and it's why every coin needs to be carefully examined. Condition is another key factor. A 1996 Lincoln cent in average circulated condition is usually worth no more than face value, maybe a few cents to a collector filling out a folder. But in gem uncirculated condition, graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, the story changes completely. A flawless 1996 penny with a red designation, meaning it has maintained its original mint color and luster without toning or spots, can bring hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The higher the grade, the higher the price climbs. At the top levels MS68 or MS69, the value can skyrocket into tens of thousands, and when combined with an error or rare variety, the result can be astronomical, pushing the coin into million-dollar territory. Let's not forget about the mint marks. In 1996, pennies were minted in Philadelphia, no mint mark, and Denver, D mint mark. While both versions were struck in huge quantities, certain die varieties and striking anomalies are unique to one mint or the other. Collectors obsess over these differences because it adds another layer of rarity. A coin with an unusual die crack, a clipped planchet, or a strong strike-through error can instantly go from being pocket change to becoming the centerpiece of a serious coin collection. What truly makes the 1996 penny fascinating is how easily it can be overlooked. Unlike the famous 1943 steel cent or the 1955 doubled die penny, the 1996 cent doesn't scream rarity at first glance. It looks common, ordinary, and unremarkable. But that's exactly what makes it dangerous to dismiss. Thousands of collectors have found themselves stunned when a coin they thought was worthless turned out to be worth life-changing sums. Stories circulate in coin communities of people discovering rare doubled dies or high-grade examples tucked away in jars of spare change, only to sell them later for staggering sums. These real-life stories fuel the excitement and keep treasure hunters searching. The world of coin collecting thrives on these surprises. The U.S. Mint has always strived for perfection, but mistakes happen, and when they do, it creates opportunities for ordinary people to stumble upon extraordinary finds. The 1996 Lincoln cent is proof of this, proof that even a coin younger than 30 years old can command incredible attention and value when the right circumstances align. Millions of people unknowingly pass these coins in transactions every day, not realizing that they might be holding a fortune in their hands. Now imagine this. You empty your wallet and see a 1996 penny glimmering in the light. You pick it up, look closely at the date, examine the letters, and notice something strange. An extra outline, a doubling effect. Your heart races as you realize you might be holding one of the rarest error coins in existence. That single penny could change your entire life. That's the thrill, the mystery, and the magic behind the Lincoln cent. So, the next time you come across a 1996 penny, don't toss it aside or let it slip through your fingers. Examine it carefully, study its details, and remember that among billions of ordinary coins there are rare gems that could shock the world with their value. Somewhere out there, maybe in your pocket right now, lies a penny worth millions. And all it takes is one person with a sharp eye and a little knowledge to uncover it.